The Deep Space Research Station drifted calmly around a remote moon where nothing unusual ever happened. Until today. Lisa Morgan was finishing her routine checks in the medical bay when the alarm suddenly blared through every hallway, and she instantly knew something was terribly wrong. Alarms meant danger, and danger always meant someone needed help fast. She grabbed her emergency kit and sprinted toward the airlock, where the security team was already assembling. Through the small window, she spotted something collapsed outside on the ground, shifting slightly but barely alive. The being was clearly not human, and in all 5 years Lisa had spent working on frontier stations, she had never encountered anything like it. The creature's skin was a shimmering purple, glistening like oil on water, and it had 4 arms twisted at unnatural angles. When the security officers brought it inside, Lisa immediately noticed it was female based on the body shape. Katie Brooks from engineering rushed in to help lift the alien onto the medical table. The creature made soft, trembling noises that might have been speech or might have been agony. Lisa couldn't tell because they had no translation tech compatible with the species. The alien's clothing was unlike anything Lisa had ever seen. The material changed color under her touch. Then she noticed the being's left side swelling rapidly, inflating like a balloon filling with air, the purple skin darkening dangerously toward black. Lisa understood immediately that she had almost no time. This type of swelling could mean internal bleeding, venom, or infection, any of which could kill the alien woman in minutes. There was no time to request help from the central colonies, they were far too distant. She pressed a hand lightly to the swollen area, and the alien shrieked in a piercing tone that made Lisa flinch. But she needed to know what was happening beneath the skin, and the only way to find out was to look directly. The alien weakly tried to push her hands away with the arms that weren't injured, but she had no strength left. Katie held the alien's upper limbs in place, gently but firmly. Lisa knew the creature was terrified, but doing nothing meant certain death. Lisa steadied her breathing and carefully lifted the edge of the alien's clothing where the swelling was most severe. What she discovered beneath made her heart jump. There was a gash about 6 inches long, and something was shifting under the skin. It wasn't blood. It was something entirely different. Tiny creatures wriggled inside the wound, parasite-like organisms multiplying rapidly and releasing a strange fluid that caused the expanding swelling. In that moment Lisa understood these weren't injuries from a fall or accident. This was the result of an attack or some kind of hostile infestation. She had never seen anything like this in any medical logs or alien biology files, but she knew one thing for sure. The parasites needed to be removed immediately before they spread to the alien's vital organs and killed her. She estimated she had barely 10 minutes before the swelling reached the creature's heart. Lisa grabbed her surgical tools and began working swiftly but cautiously, because one wrong cut could damage something vital. Katie stood beside her, passing instruments without needing to be asked. She had worked with Lisa long enough to predict every step. The alien woman cried out continually, her 3 eyes leaking a clear fluid that looked like tears, and Lisa felt awful causing pain. But they had no anesthesia that would function on her physiology, and hesitation meant certain death. She extracted the first parasite, which writhed in her forceps like a metallic worm, and dropped it into a containment jar. Then she removed the next one and the next. There were dozens embedded in the tissue. As she cleared more of them out, the swelling slowly began to shrink, the alien's breathing became steadier, and the dark discoloration faded from her purple skin. Lisa could feel the tide turning. Katie used the station's medical scanner to ensure no parasites were left, and when the scan came back clear, Lisa disinfected the wound thoroughly and sealed it using medical adhesive. Stitches might not work on alien skin. The alien woman gazed at Lisa with her 3 eyes, made a soft weary sound, and reached out with one of her unharmed hands to gently touch Lisa's face. Lisa understood instantly, it was gratitude. Lisa finished bandaging the wound and gave the alien a mild pain reliever that, to her relief, seemed to work. The creature's body relaxed and her breathing steadied. Katie brought water and a small container of what appeared to be food from the alien's tiny ship still docked outside. Over the next several hours, the alien female gradually recovered, making more vocal sounds and gently moving her injured arms, showing signs of returning strength. Lisa stayed beside her the entire time, monitoring her vitals even though the readings were unlike anything she had seen before. By the time the station commander arrived to assess the situation, the alien was sitting upright and attempting to communicate. Lisa had already secured dozens of the parasites in containment jars for the science team. They needed to understand what kind of enemy could unleash creatures like that. The alien woman, whose name they eventually deciphered as something similar to Zara, when translated into human phonetics, remained on the station for 3 more days as she healed. During that time, she observed Lisa with fascination, seemingly amazed that a human would physically cut into her body to save her life. On the day Zara prepared to depart and return to her people, she gifted Lisa a small crystal that glowed with an inner light. Using the translation device they had finally managed to calibrate, Zara told her that humans were far braver than her people had believed, and that bravery without full understanding was one of the rarest virtues in the galaxy. Lisa placed the crystal on her desk as a reminder, and whenever frightened or injured aliens arrived at the station in the following days, she remembered that sometimes the greatest medicine wasn't knowledge, it was the willingness to act, even when success wasn't guaranteed. The story of the human doctor who saved an alien life spread quickly across the frontier, and soon more species began arriving at human stations seeking medical help, trusting that humans would never hesitate to try, even when the patient was completely unfamiliar. Lisa never saw herself as anyone extraordinary, but Katie kept reminding her that what she did that day went far beyond standard medical care. It proved that humanity truly belonged among the stars because humans would fight to save any life, even one they didn't fully understand. The parasites recovered from Zara turned out to be a biological weapon engineered by an enemy species, and because Lisa preserved them for research, the Alliance's scientists were able to study the organisms and develop an effective cure. That cure ended up saving thousands of lives across multiple planets. Every time Lisa walked through the station afterward and saw new alien visitors being treated without fear or hesitation, she remembered the moment she lifted Zara's strange clothing and looked at that horrifying wound. Her bravery had sparked something greater than she ever imagined, an example of compassion spreading across civilizations. From that point onward, Lisa's actions became a quiet legend among the outer colonies. Zara eventually sent a message from her homeworld, explaining that her people now viewed humans in a new light, no longer as distant allies, but as protectors willing to risk everything for a life not their own. Lisa continued her work in the medical bay just as she always had, treating every new patient with the same determination she showed that day. The glowing crystal Zara had given her stayed on her desk as a reminder of the trust they had built, and of the moment when two completely different species understood each other without speaking a single word. As months passed, more alien travelers arrived at the station, not just for help but to learn from humans, especially from Lisa. Her willingness to act without hesitation led to the discovery of the parasite cure, which spread throughout the Alliance and saved entire populations on distant worlds. All of it happened because one human doctor refused to back away from a frightening wound on a stranger she didn't understand. It was proof to every species listening that humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology or power, it was compassion, courage, and the instinct to save those who couldn't save themselves.